Greetings and welcome back to Gadfly Academy. Last week we continued our work to clarify which human values are most core to who we are. This week we're going to turn our attention to a different set of values, the kinds of values that play an important role in shaping our decisions when it comes to technology, and therefore when it comes to reclaiming the attention we have lost. By coming to a clearer understanding of what values are most core to our being, it should become increasingly clear how at odds with human values are the technocratic values that govern much of modern life and technology. To help us in this process, I'd like to drill down deeper into the distinction between human values, rooted in and beneficial to our nature, psychology, and social needs, versus instrumental, what I am referring to as technocratic values, adopted because they're useful, often derived from tools, systems, or the natural world. The following categories should help to clarify the nature of technocratic values. So one is instrumental values, values that are held because they help achieve some other end, such as efficiency or optimization. Two is systemic values, values that emerge from or are required by a particular system. So an example would be scalability in tech. Three is functional values, so values chosen because they serve a practical function. Four is utilitarian values, so values defined by usefulness rather than inherent human meaning. Five is operational values, values that keep a process or machine-like system running. Six are intrinsic values, values whose worth comes from something outside themselves. This would be contrasted with intrinsic values. Seven are engineered values, values that are designed or imposed by human-made systems. Eight are procedural values, values that concern how something is done rather than why it's done. Nine are adaptive values, so values adopted to fit a specific environment or challenge. And 10 are surrogate values, stand-in priorities that replace deeper human values in certain contexts. So as before with human values, here is a list of questions that one could ask of a specific value to determine whether or not it is a particular kind of technocratic value. So for instrumental values, number one, does this value matter only because it leads to something else? Is its importance dependent on the outcome it enables? Systemic values, here are three questions. Does this value emerge from the logic or requirements of a system? Would it lose relevance outside that system? And is it indispensable for the system's survival or growth? Three are, again, our functional values, and here are a couple of questions. Does this value solve a specific practical problem? Is it chosen for effectiveness rather than for moral or human reasons? Four is utilitarian values, and the questions are, is this value defined by usefulness or maximizing benefit? Is its worth judged by outcomes, not meaning or intrinsic worth? Five, operational values. Does this value keep a process, workflow, or system running smoothly? Does it deal with stability, reliability, or continuity of operations? Six, extrinsic values. Does the value's worth depend on something outside itself, that is to say, like money or status? Would it lose its meaning if separated from that external referent? Seven, engineered values. Was this value explicitly designed or imposed by humans within a system? Does it reflect deliberate technical or organizational design choices? Eight, procedural values. Does this value govern how things are done, not why they're done? Is it about fairness, transparency, or methods of process? 9, adaptive values. Was this value adopted to meet the demands of a particular environment or challenge? Is its importance situational, context-dependent, or responsive to change? And lastly, surrogate values. Does this value act as a stand-in for deeper human values? That is, productivity, for example, replacing meaning. Has it replaced a richer or intrinsic value with a measurable proxy? So again, to try to distill this down a little bit to their essence, one could contrast human values with technocratic values in the following way. Human values prioritize intrinsic, moral, existential, and relational value. And technocratic values prioritize efficiency, control, scalability, function, precision, standardization, and extrinsic value. When interacting with a technology, it's helpful to ask what effect the technology's value system will have on your value system. That's why we're going through this process of clarifying values. Are the benefits of the technology sufficient to justify the ways in which the technocratic values of the technology undermine and subvert your hierarchy of human values? If you decide to use a particular technology, are there ways in which you can create boundaries around the technology to keep it from creeping into every aspect of your life? These are the kinds of questions we'll be asking moving forward as we seek a way in which to live and thrive as humans in a technology-saturated world, and especially in trying to push back against the attention capture that we see. So that's it for today. Before closing, however, I did want to ask, had you ever considered this distinction between human and technocratic values before? And are you finding this framework useful in clarifying your own value system? So as always, please share. Have a great weekend, and we will see you again soon. Take care.